Hello everyone and welcome to this CGTN live stream. We are live on the Philippines island of Boracay. Welcome to Boracay. It was closed for 6 months starting last April. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte had described it as a cesspool after years of commercialized tourism. But look at it now. It was reopened yesterday, October 26th. I want to show you just how beautiful it is now. It's always been beautiful. Cesspool is probably a little bit of an exaggeration. It was never ugly in my opinion. You can, sorry, I'm getting carried away. Because I love this place. This is my happy place. I come here like almost every year, sometimes twice a year for work, for leisure. I come here with my family. I come here with my crew. And this is a huge tourist destination for the Chinese as well. The Chinese are actually the top, if not the second top tourists here in Boracay. It's the Koreans and the Chinese. Sometimes the Chinese more, sometimes there are more Koreans here. But 1 and 2, Chinese and Koreans. Anyway, you can watch us on CGTN's Facebook page, Twitter page, where else? On Chinese social media sites as well, Weibo, as well as on CGTN's website and app. And I will be occasionally looking at, if my internet connection is good, looking at the CGTN Facebook page for your, sorry, I can hear myself, so I'm gonna mute this if I can. Well, anyway, you can ask me questions, you can say hi. You can say whatever you want on the Facebook page, and I'll occasionally look at what you're saying on the comments section of the Facebook page. Sorry. The sun is shining really bright, and if you don't mind, I'm gonna put on my sunglasses. It's a beach anyway. It's Boracay. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to show you just how clean the water has become. So 6 months ago, maybe a little more than 6 months ago, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte was shown this video of Boracay's pipeline and spewing really dirty water. Not on this beach. There are a few beaches here in Boracay. It's the beach right at the back where most of the water sports are. That's where all that untreated wastewater, polluted wastewater was being dumped directly into Boracay's beach. And that angered President Duterte, and that prompted him to order the shutdown of Boracay for 6 months. So after 6 months of rest, no tourist whatsoever. It was totally closed for tourism. I want to show you just how clean the water is now. Let's go down. Sorry, I want to destroy my equipment. Hold on. But look at this. I mean, whew. You can see the sand beneath the water here. And it's clear. Clear, and then it's a little green, and then it's blue. That is how the beach should look like. I spoke with residents of Boracay, those who were born here and grew up here, and they said that this is pretty close to what Boracay was like, at least the water, the beach. Pretty close to what Boracay was like 20, 30, 40 years ago. Of course, what we have on the other side, all the hotels and restaurants and establishments, that's going to be irreversible. I mean, you can demolish them, but this is now a $1 million economy with about 30,000 workers relying on the economy here. So it's going to be hard to kind of totally reverse the tourism industry of Boracay. So what the government wants to do is to promote sustainable tourism from now on. And what does that mean? First, the carrying capacity of Boracay. When it used to be like tens of thousands of tourists descending upon Boracay, now the government wants just a little over 6,000 tourists coming to Boracay each day. So what they're doing is monitoring tourist arrivals at the port in Caticlan, which is just next to Boracay, and that's where the airport is as well. And when you get to Caticlan, you have to present a verified hotel booking. If you don't have a hotel booking with an accredited hotel, and if there's still rooms available here in Boracay, they're going to help you get rooms. So it's not going to be as if, you know, you come here, you don't have a booking, and they kick you out of Boracay. But they're actually going to help you find rooms, if there are rooms. And the problem is, among the 400 plus hotels and establishments here in Boracay, only about 150 to 160 hotels have been accredited. What does this mean? It means that these hotels have complied with environmental laws, that they have gotten all the necessary local government permits. But for instance, this hotel here, Henan, it's one of the largest chains of hotels here in Boracay. As you can see, and I don't know if you can see, there are, sorry, let's go closer. There are, I don't know if you can see, but there are already employees inside. They're probably getting ready to open, but they're still not open. They're not on the list of accredited hotels. Now, most of these violations were in violations of environmental laws. Sorry, okay, sun's gone, so I can take off my sunglasses so you can see my face. So most of the violations of establishments here are violations of what the government says are existing environmental laws, which were not implemented strictly here in Boracay. And foremost of those problems is the wastewater that's coming from these establishments. What had happened was some of the establishments, the bigger ones, were required to have their own water treatment facility, and some of them did not have that. Now the smaller establishments, meanwhile, they've been dumping their wastewater directly into the drainage system of Boracay, and this goes directly to the beach at the back of the island, the other beach, the one that I was talking about. I think that's the one that President Duterte was referring to, a cesspool, because this part was never a cesspool. Although of course water goes around, and of course the pollution over on that side would go over onto this side as well, and you could smell the pollution. Sorry. You could smell it actually. One resident I spoke with said it smelled like mud. But now I don't smell it. It smells really fresh here. And it's, you know, it's refreshing to be able to come to Boracay. and be able to see this island in its pristine state, because I started coming here probably around 2010, and it was in full commercial mode already when I came here. Still beautiful, always beautiful, especially the sunset here. But as the years went by, I did see how much more polluted the water here had become, how much more commercialized this place had become, how there are too many tourists really here. There's an event here, there was an event here that they're not going to allow to be held here anymore, but every Labor Day, May 1st, there was an event here called Boracay, and it was just, I mean, the crowds were just really huge. And after the 2 or 3 day party, you see a lot of trash here. And officials have said that probably, because they can rehabilitate Boracay, they can have it rest and clean the water, and they can control the establishments, they can set parameters and rules. But what might be the hardest, they say, is actually controlling or regulating the behavior of tourists. And that's why they're asking tourists to cooperate with them. They've set some rules, obviously, no throwing on the beach of any kind of trash, plastic, paper, nothing. Boracay has also banned the use of single-use plastics, so that's going to help in the cleanliness of the beach as well as of the water. Now, again, as I mentioned, Boracay, that huge party that happens every year, that's not going to be allowed anymore. But not only that, it's not just that huge party. Parties on the beach in general, because people, you know, here, Boracay has been known to be a party place the last several years. But partying on the beach right now, that's not going to be allowed. You can party inside the establishments, you can drink inside the establishments, you can smoke inside the establishments, but not on the beach. If you notice, on any beach in the world, there would be beach beds right outside the hotels, right on the beach. But that's also not allowed anymore. So what they want is for this beach, this whole stretch here, to be as natural as possible, for people to enjoy the natural beauty of Boracay. So there are a lot of no-nos now. So again, as I mentioned, no drinking on the beach, no smoking on the beach, no fireworks as well. Sorry, there's the sun again. Right. So no fireworks, no drinking, no smoking, no beach beds. But most of all, it's really these establishments that have to comply with environmental laws. They're now being strict with the wastewater that's being produced by these establishments, and that's why they have not accredited over 200 or 300 establishments. The main issue is the wastewater. Big ones, they have to have their own wastewater treatment plant. Smaller ones, they have to be able to connect to the sewerage lines. The water that's going to go into the drainage system has to be just rainwater, and that goes directly into the sea, as it was before. Establishments will not be allowed to dump their wastewater into the drainage system. The government says they will not allow Boracay to be a cesspool again. But let's go, you know, this has largely been solved. The cleanliness of the water, it's spotless, again, as you saw. But that's not the entirety of Boracay. if we go out into the communities in Boracay, into the roads of Boracay, and it's a little bit of a walk. So let me go a little faster. Well, I mean, look at this. McDonald's. Boracay is obviously commercialized. It has McDonald's. It has malls, movie theaters. So Boracay is really not just about the beach. But the government says it's mainly about the beach. And that's why, even with all the ongoing rehabilitation work, they've decided to open Boracay to tourists. Well, they did say that it was only going to be a 6-month closure, and they kept their promise and they opened Boracay after 6 months of closure. Of course, there was a lot of concern as well about how it was already affecting the local economy. Again, as I said, this is a $1 million economy, probably more. Before the closure, around 2 million tourists came to Boracay every year. Top tourists, as I've mentioned, the Chinese, the Koreans, the Japanese, Europeans, Americans. This is definitely, without a doubt, a world-renowned island. It was actually named at one point the world's best island by readers of the travel magazine Condé Nast. And it continues to be voted as one of the best islands in Asia. Even, get this, even during its 6-month closure. It was voted the second or the third best island in Asia. The best island in Asia, voted this year, was Siargao, another island in the Philippines. And the tourism department, the Philippines tourism department, was saying that even or despite the closure of Boracay, tourist arrivals in the Philippines went up. And in fact, they're saying that because Boracay was closed, it shone a light on other tourist destinations in the Philippines. And this is probably why Siargao, which is, a top surfing destination here in the Philippines, was voted as Asia's best island this year. I'm sorry, it really is a little bit of a walk going to the main road, but I did want to show you all the construction that's still ongoing. For example, this. I mean, this is a hotel that's still being constructed or renovated, not yet open. But that's okay, because the government says that the reopening of Boracay will be in 3 phases. So, if hotels are not able to comply with the government's requirements this time around, it's not that they're not ever going to be allowed to open. There's a car. It's not that they're not ever going to be allowed to open. As long as they're able to comply with these requirements, even if it wasn't on October 26th, if it's tomorrow or next month or next year, they're going to be allowed to open. The only ones that they would not allow to open, and this is a little problematic, are the ones that have been built too close to the beach. They are strictly implementing a 25 plus 5, so that's 30 meters easement rule, which means your building cannot be closer than 30 meters from the beach during low tide. and this includes the beach beds. So the problem is some establishments, especially on the beach right at the back of the island, they're built too close to the beach. And the only solution for them is to demolish their establishments. That's a little bit of a problem. The wastewater problem, that's a little easier to address. That's a matter of upgrading your infrastructure and facilities. And yet, 200 to 300 establishments have not been able to comply. They've not been accredited. So it's going to take a while for this island to come back to what it was pre-closure 6 months ago. I'm sorry, it's really a little bit of a walk. But I do want to show you because, you know, when we talk about Boracay, obviously it's about the beach, it's about the water. That's really the beauty of Boracay. But as a tourist, upon arriving in Boracay, this is really what you're gonna see. This is gonna be your first sight of Boracay. And the government says, because the reopening is happening in 3 phases, that's okay. Because at least tourists are going to be able to see that the beach has already been cleaned up. And that's really what Boracay is all about. But they want, or they've advised tourists to manage their expectations and to be patient. Because this is what they will have to contend with when they arrive in Boracay. They're going to ride tricycles and vans and rented vehicles, and they're going to have to go through this maze. Yes, this really is what most of Boracay looks like right now. It's a work in progress. But it's work that is necessary and work that is long overdue. Because if you've been to Boracay pre-closure, I mean, these roads were of poor quality and were too narrow. So now they're widening the roads. They're fixing, first and foremost, or primarily, the sewerage, the sewer lines, and the drainage system. Again, that has been the main problem here. That has been the main problem here in Boracay. It's really not the trash. Of course, that's also a problem. But what has been the main problem are the sewer lines and the drainage system. And that's what made President Duterte call Boracay a cesspool. So now that's what they're fixing primarily, aside from, of course, widening the roads. So this is what tourists will see when they first get to Boracay, before they get to the beach. And so the government is saying, you know, manage your expectations. It's a work in progress, but we're proud of what we've done to Boracay's water and the beach. So that's basically it. You know, Boracay is never going to be the party island it was before. There are now a lot of restrictions, a lot of rules, but the government says, you know, sustainable tourism is what they want to promote now, not just in Boracay, but in other places in the Philippines, because if the environment is not taken care of, there will not be tourist spots to speak of. So that is the direction the Philippine tourism industry is going. I guess it's I'm gonna now look at your comments and your questions. Well, you know, it's just mostly people saying nice place, beautiful place. Well, you guys are not wrong. It really is beautiful. Party island or not, it really is one of my most favorite places, not just in the Philippines, but in the whole wide world. So I'll come back here. Party or not, I really love this place. Well, you know, I'm not sure if this is my signal not working. But I'm not really getting a lot of questions. I guess people understand the issues surrounding the closure of Boracay, and people just want to appreciate the beauty of Boracay. Alright, so I guess that's it for us now. I've shown you, I think, quite the entirety of the island of Boracay. It's a big island, but this is really most of what the island looks like right now. Maybe 6 months from now, we'll come back here and show you the progress. Thank you so much for watching this live stream. You know, the last time I did a live stream, or the last few times I did my live stream, they were all in disaster zones. So this is a little bit different. Well, I mean, it looks like a little bit like a war zone right now. But it's not. It's a work in progress. They're beautifying Boracay. And that's good. That's good. Okay. So that's about it for me. We'll continue to update you with what's happening here in Boracay. We'll have more reports on CGTN's cable news channel. So do watch out for more updates during the day.